All right. In response to my opponent here, now the tunnel has a potential price tag of about $3 to $5 billion, which is more than the $780 million set aside for construction by the sales tax raised through Measure R. Now, construction is done in phases, and without additional funding, construction may be stalled. This is a 2015 study that's been reported by KPCC by the San Gabriel Valley cities. So, now, according to another 2015 study by the city of South Pasadena, tunnel boring machines must bore through 5 active faults and below 2 depleted water tables. Now, dewatering may create settlement issues, sinkholes, and groundwater contamination. Now, the dangers have not been addressed with the tunnel machine. Now, this will endanger South Pasadena residents, even if the tunnel is obviously underground and not at a surface level. Okay. Now, according to a 2009 study by SCAG, the construction of the missing link will increase truck volumes along the 210 freeway, as well as the 710. Now, there will be an incentive to drive through the tunnel. Now, this will direct more cars, increasing more traffic on the highway, basically saying if it is there, they will use it. Unfortunately, traffic volumes are expected to increase to a level that is beyond the capacity of this expected tunnel construction. Now, the project's purpose is a needs statement. It focuses only on north-south travel. The east-west options are ignored. Now, even if this would create significant benefit to congested arteries and intersections of concern by city of Alhambra and some of the supposed poorest cities. So, the city of Pasadena is not opposing, it's just saying that the other options aren't being paid attention to. Okay. Now, that was a 2015 study also by the city of South Pasadena. Furthermore, the study area faces an east-west transportation problem, not a north-to-south one. An east-west transportation project would likely have a greater congestion relief benefit for the project area and cities than the considered proposed north-to-south tunnel option. All right. Now, according to the Queensland University of Technology, tunnels concentrate air pollution by up to 1,000 times. Now, what was failed to be addressed is where is the ventilation from the tunnels going to go? Obviously, up into the city of South Pasadena. Now, this is danger because it will still harm the residents even if the tunnel is underground. It's 250 feet, 350 feet, however far underground, that pollution must go somewhere. Okay, so this tunnel does have a potential price tag of $3 to $5 billion. Alrighty. Which is more than what Measure R is accounting for. Now, that money can be used to relieve other options instead of just building a tunnel. Now, furthermore, the 70% of the imported cargo that comes in from the Port of LA is not subject to diversion as a result of the conditions on the 710. So, even though there is no tunnel, because measures already exist to aid in traffic flow around the city of South Pasadena, I guess even though the network there has not been completed, there is no need to complete it. So most of the cargo out of Port LA was never affected by the incomplete road. And this was a study from Metro's The 710 Port of LA Growth Memo from 2013. So, of the 30% of cargo that does come out of LA that may or may not be affected by this tunnel, okay, that traffic of cargo is loaded onto rail and potentially subject to diversion. Now, a significant portion has viable alternatives if the 710 is not improved. Because railroads aren't affected by highways, there's really no relevant connection between leaving Port of LA and any other infrastructure because railroads are not affected by highways. Okay, now, in regards to the increase in traffic, it has been shown that a one-to-one relation exists between road capacity and vehicle miles traveled. So, if capacity increases by 10% on that stretch of highway, the amount of driving also increases by 10%. So more cars will be brought into the area, again creating more congestion for a lot of the users in that area. So, now, a 2015 study based on the environmental impact report by the city of South Pasadena that's been studied shows that adding a freeway tunnel would be a magnet for more traffic to the region. This is a phenomenon called supply-induced demand. Like I said before, more cars in the area will have an incentive to be in this tunnel, and then again creating more traffic. However, additional find by the environmental impact report shows that not building the tunnel will result in an 11% decrease in miles traveled by 2035. See, if the infrastructure isn't there, drivers and users will have other means or search other means to find alternatives to arrive from one destination to another without this type of infrastructure in place. They'll be forced to use alternative means of transportation, getting themselves out of cars, lowering CO2 emissions, making things safer for the residents in the area, aside from South Pasadena to Alhambra, Duarte, City of Industry, and any other corresponding cities in that area. Okay. So, without the proper funding needed by Measure R and some of the other tax breaks that were necessary, the tunnel will need to be a toll road. Now, this goes beyond what was expected, and if this is considered a toll road, there is no initiative or no incentive to use the tunnel anymore due to the fact that the users will want to avoid having to pay to drive more when instead of they can just continue to use surface streets. This does not solve the problem that exists. No driver will want to use a surface street. They will be more incentivized to do so if they have to pay for the tunnel. All right, thank you.